Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the three states of data, which is at rest, in transit, and in use. And it is important to understand these states because we need to keep the data secured, whether it's being stored somewhere, if it's traveling somewhere, or it's being worked on. So we're going to break it down step by step. The first thing that we're going to look at is going to be the data at rest. This is the data that's stored somewhere. It could be stored on a computer, a drive, a cloud, and this could be things like files that are saved somewhere. And to secure the data at rest, we use encryption, which locks the data so that only someone that has access or the right password to it can access it. So, for example, if you're using a Windows computer or if you're using Mac, you're going to use either BitLocker or File Vault to keep the data encrypted. Now, let's think that, or let's use this example throughout the entire presentation. Think of, an email that you want to send to someone, and within that email, you want to send that person data. So you attach a file that's stored on your computer, and then you send it to someone. At that point, that's considered data in transit. The data in transit is when the data moves from one place to another. It's like, again, when you're sending an email, if you're uploading a file, or if you're shopping online. This stage is, or the way that the data is secured during the stage, um, it has to be encrypted while it's being traveled. So a lot of websites, what they do is that they use HTTPS to encrypt the information. So, for example, like if you're shopping online and you want to put your credit card information in there or your login details, the HTTPS will help you keep that data safe. Also, if for some reason you're sending it from not an HTTPS site, you can use a VPN, which also will help you protect your data and encrypt it while it's being traveled. Um, so once again, let's just go back to the same example. The data travels, you send an email, that email is in transit, and when someone receives that email, that's and opens up the email, that's considered data in use. So the data in use, this is where someone's actively working on the data, like again, a file that they received from an email, editing a document, or processing like customer information. If for some reason we're going back to the example of online shopping. So since the data is encrypted, or in order, since the data is not encrypted in this stage, it is more vulnerable. So the data when it's being used, it's not being encrypted, it's actually decrypted at this point. So it is important to focus on protecting the devices or applications that you're using. So for example, there's a lot of websites and a lot of apps that they do constant updates, and that's in order for them to keep the data up to date from cyber attacks. Also, any antivirus tools will help you protect the data. And but yeah, so once again, if you're filling out a form or anything like that, editing a document, it is decrypted, so it's important to keep that data secured. And just a quick recap. So these are the three stages of data. So it's at rest, in transit, and in use. So at rest, it's being stored somewhere like a cloud, a computer, and we have to encrypt that data using BitLocker, File Vault. When it's in transit, we also encrypt it using HTTPS or um, VPNs, but this is when it's being transported from one place to another. And then in use is basically when a document or data it's being actively used or edited, and at this point it's not encrypted, so we have to be protecting our data by updating our phones or applications or anything like that, keeping them up to date to protect them from cyber attacks. So once again, by understanding these states, um, it is important again to keep the data secure. So no matter where it is, if it's being stored somewhere, traveling somewhere, or if it's being used. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you understand this data security basics.